All right, y'all, we back with another episode of Define Your Legacy. And before we get started with this edition of the show, all right, I want to shout out our sponsor. Again, the Define Your Legacy online store. The link can be found in the description of this episode. All right, we got t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, mugs, all that. All right, so for the online store of Define Legacy, be sure to check out the link in the description of this episode. All right, now let's get into the episode. All right. So on today's show, we got my guy, Dean, man. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's poppin', King?
What's up, man? Appreciate you being on the show.
No problem, man. I'm glad that you invited me on here. It's an honor. I'm humbled. It's always dope having a nice conversation with another creative,
Absolutely. So if you could, man, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your story and journey overall.
My name is Dean Spence from Hartford. Started off school at Norfolk State, ended up graduating at UConn. From there, kind of been a community guy, everything from social work, therapeutic services. And I kind of found my entrepreneurial career as an event planner. And, I still work in the community, still fight the good fight. And then outside of my 9-to-5 corporate job, which I work for the state now. So it's a good thing. Outside of my 9-to-5, I throw events. So, just trying to be successful out here, man. The goal is to reach financial freedom, right? Like my boy Hov said, if you don't own your own, you ain't free, right? So that's the goal. And have a good time while I'm doing it,
And that's dope to hear too, especially the last part, have fun while you're doing it. So how did you come across the idea of being an event planner?
Honestly, it kind of fell in my lap. So back in the day during college and everything, I'll say, me and my homies just throw house parties, right? Our house parties are crazy, right? Real dope, good vibes, like always good vibes, the best vibes, right? And we got to a point, I say around maybe, I'm 31 now, so maybe 25, I say. It got real big, right? To the point where it was we gotta take this outside the house. Okay, it's getting a little, it's getting a little bigger than the crib, right? So then from there, one of my homies wanted to do a can drive, a donation drive, charity drive for his birthday. So we did one. Then we did a jersey party. And growing up, I've always did a Christmas Eve party, right? So my mom always had stuff in the house. And then one year, she didn't want to do it. And I was like, well, let me do it for my friends, right? So it's kind of tying everything into it. And then from there, we did a fast forward. We did I think we did a jersey party for one of my boys' birthdays. Fresh. He's one of the DJs now. We did a jersey party for canned goods, right? Dope event, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, people kept oh, I see you doing events now. Let's do this, let's do that, right? And then my first event was Thanksgiving Eve, right? So every Thanksgiving Eve, I throw a toy drive, right? We just had one. Shout out to the team that was involved. It was called the Reunion this year, right? So we do a toy drive every Thanksgiving Eve. So my first one, I kind of got this spot, the Dirt Salon, right? Nice little brick art studio, right? Found a good price for it. The owner, Cynthia, God rest her soul, dope. So let me rent it for the night. So, this is my first time throwing a party on my own, right? Usually I got the homies on deck. Yeah. We usually gang up, you know what I'm saying? This was kind of hey, y'all, I'm throwing a party. Pull up, right? And what I did was I pushed my time frame a couple hours back. So everyone party ended at 1, I ended at 3, right? So I'm at the very least, if the party whack, I'm gonna have the after party. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? You feel me? So obviously, I want to shout out to everyone who's in my life and my support system, especially my friends and family. We're real supportive. So one of us do something, everybody show up, right? So off rip, you're gonna have the family there. Feel me? So I did that. And then as you see it like rolling out, the party started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, okay, like there was a club down the street. So I ended up sending some friends down the street, hey, go get everybody over there, come over here. Right. It was a lesson learned. And it was like, oh, you actually could do this, right? So like that one, we had about 300 people. I had one security guard. I had one person at the door. I had 2 DJs and 2 bartenders. Right? It was insane. Like we partied. I think we finished partying at like 3. I think I ain't leave till like 6 in the morning. Right?
And this is a party in Hartford.
It was a party in Hartford.
Okay.
Right. So this is like I think I just graduated UConn actually.
Okay.
Right. So we did that. Right. I'm like, okay, like, and then from there, everything kind of started falling in place. Right. But then I stepped back from a little bit because I had that same year, I did the Christmas Eve party again. Right. It was solid. Say had like 150 people plus, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, I was like, okay, I got a little niche for this, right? Like, let me try to figure out my lane, my direction, how I want to go with this. And I lost my grandfather that year, right? So I lost my grandfather that year, and I was like, I don't want to do this no more, right? Because throwing events is cool, but it's a little stressful, and like you have to be in the people's face. You have to be like constantly networking, constantly active, right? You can't just like, hey, I'll have the party and pull up. Like, you can do everything you want, but people have to show up for it to be successful, right?
Yeah.
So I had a couple of people come up to me and was like, hey, like, you got to keep doing this. Like we like the vibes you bring in, boom, boom, boom. And, you know, keep it going. So then from there, like, started trickling off little by little, right? I started collabing with a few people. Sometimes it hit, sometimes it wouldn't, you know? And then like, I had like a little group of team I created, Upscale, right? And we had like a good run for a while. And then, you know, I kind of just found my lane, right? It's funny because when I did it, I started off later in life. Usually people who would like throw parties or events and stuff, they usually start off like early 20s, like maybe in college or something like that. Like, I'm a grown man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like people I'm messing with are having careers, they go for the masters, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, like I don't want to be a club guy, right? And also like I'm more of a grown and sexy type of, that's my style, right? Let me pick a lane for that, right? Let me do something for people who want to have a good time. So I call the people like who I target corporate hipsters, right? And it's, you know, let me define it. So it's people who have careers, right? People who want to do something with themselves, right? Like real, like either from an entrepreneur standpoint, you work for a corporation, if you're a doctor, whatever, but you still want to have a good time, right? Because, you know, as you get to that point, you start leveling up. It's hard just to go to clubs, right? It's hard just to go to certain spots because now you're like, man, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want nothing violent to pop off over there. You know what I'm saying? So like you start thinking about a lot of different things, and then, you know, you get to the point where you can't party all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I gotta think of a lane where, and this is how kind of like brunch and like happy hours and stuff started. We gotta think of a lane where that's good for the grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying? So start doing happy hours, start doing brunches, start doing like a little bit day parties, stuff like that, right? And the team, the people that had around me kind of just always like, yeah, we're gonna do that. And it started formulating, right? And that's kind of just how it came together, man. Like it's one of those things that kind of just fell in my lap, and I was like, all right, let's see where it goes. And I was like, okay, like I'm not going this direction, I'm gonna go this direction. So that's a long story, just kind of like short of how it happened. So it just fell in my lap, and I kind of just ran with it. Yeah.
And so as you continue to throw events, did you notice that some of the same people that were attending your earlier events continue to go to some of, you know, your more recent events now, and just later on as you continue to grow as an event planner?
Yes and no. Connecticut is an interesting place when it comes to some of those things, but at the same time, people change. People change. People get older, different interest goes. You might have people who come to your stuff all the time, but then they leave states. You know what I'm saying? COVID being a year to year, kind of threw everybody off whack, right? You know, I would say that. So I would say it's hard to really measure that at the moment. maybe another year or so, I'll see it. Cause like before COVID happened, you know, we were doing happy hours once a month. We were doing brunch every weekend. We were doing day parties like every 3 months, every quarter. You know what I'm saying? Doing charity events like every half a year. So like, I feel like before COVID happened, it was a peak of like, you know, everyone just kind of just being involved and, you know, so you will see same faces, but I will get new faces as much as I'm seeing the same faces, right? And that's how you know you're growing, right? Everyone has a following no matter what they do, right? From everything from your podcast to someone selling clothes, someone being a musician, whatever it is, right? Even if you're your accountant, you do people's taxes, you have a support system, you have a following. So you're gonna see same faces, right? You're gonna see similar faces. Sometimes you might just see your homies are there. You know what I mean? So like the goal is to see those faces and to bring more faces, right? And kind of sell a different experience every time, right? Because where I like to consider myself an event planner, I get put in a lane of promoters sometimes. You know, I get put in a lane of, oh, he's just a club guy, right? He's just a party guy, right? And that's cool, you know, promoter, I definitely promote. So I don't take that, but it's like, you know, I like to say I do more than that, right? I like to decorate the experience, I like to create the experience. I like to analyze and see what's going on and, you know what I mean, like take advantage of what I have or what I don't have. You know what I mean? Like create something out of nothing, right? Like I don't like to say, oh, come here, it's hot, it's lit, we're gonna pull up and, you know, and have a good time. But it's more than that because the people want more than that, right? No one really wants to come to like a club, just a club anymore, right? They do and they don't, you know. But you know, I gotta look at as I evolve as a person, my events evolve as a person. As I evolve as a person, my events evolve as well, right? Well, like telling people come over here and club with me and party with me all the time when they got work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And then to your point of financial literacy, that's not smart, right? So it's kind of like creating that lane where, you know what, you can still may have a fun lifestyle and still, you know, do what you need to do without hurting yourself at work the next day, right? Without hurting your pockets, right? It's you're being financially mature, but you're still living your best life.
Yeah. And so which one do you think had to happen first? You evolving as a person or your events evolving on themselves?
As a person. I would say as a person. Because you have to see what you want, right? And anytime I team up with anybody or anytime I create, I have put myself in the consumer's shoes, right? What would I like if I showed up to this event? What am I trying to get out of it, right? How much am I trying to spend, right? And if I'm like, I'm not doing that, then I'm probably not going to try to sell that, right? I'm not going to push that forward and say, like, I wouldn't show up to this, right? Now, this, you know, sometimes you take gambles, you take risks. You're like, you know, I'm going to try this don't work. I'm going to try this, don't work, right? It's part of the game. But, like, you got to look at yourself and say, hey, like, you know, what do you want out of it, right? And that's where I think brings you the most success. Sometimes, you know, and I say I had to change as a person to see that because, you know, especially when I first started early on, I was just taking opportunities. I'm like, okay, cool. I can make money off here. I can make money off here. Make money off that. Make money off that. Right. And it was working, but I wasn't satisfied. Right. I felt like I didn't have control of what was going on. I felt like I was just doing it just to do it because it was fast money. Right. And then I had to step back and say, like, all right, like, are you doing this because you're trying to make money or are you doing it because you're passionate about it? Right. And that's where I kind of found my lane. I was like, all right, like, as much as this is a business, like, you have to really sell that vibe. You know what I'm saying? You have to really sell that good time. And people have to feel that energy. As soon as they walk through the door, they gotta be like, all right, like, I know I'm about to have a good time because, you know, the vibe is already set. You know, so I had to change the person to find that. And I think if I didn't change, I probably would have been just a come here, it's party, where it's more of just an experience. You know what I mean? Like, I want to sell an experience. I don't want to just sell a party. I want people to come be able to talk, be able to network, right? And that's where I kind of evolved, because I was like, what kind of people do I want coming to my events, right? I don't discriminate, right? But I want someone coming in who got something to lose, right? People who got something to gain, right? I want you to come to my event and network, right? As much as you're networking, you're having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you might meet your future wifey and hubby, you know, right? Feel me? But like a place where you can feel like, damn, I belong here. You know what I'm saying? You ever been like to a party or something, or a networking gig, anything, and like you're like,
yeah,
I don't know if I should be out here right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, feel me? Or you wake up the next day and be like, damn, what I spent money on for that? That was whack. Right? So like I don't want that result, because that's how people don't come back.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta create reoccurring customers. Right. I don't call them customers. We gotta create reoccurring vibes. Right. So now next time I throw it, you and your friends be like, yo, we gotta pull up over there. Right. And then your friends tell their friends like, hey, we gotta go over here. Right. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's a spot to be at for the moment. Right. It's a spot to be at for the day, it's a spot to be at for the night. You know, and then if you could throw like something behind it where, you know, it's a cause, right? Because everything I like to do, I like to have a charitable donation for it, right? I would say like 60% of my events are probably to charity, right? I would say even more. I do a lot of week-to-week stuff sometimes, so those fluctuate. But like any event that's not a week-to-week event, probably most likely has a charitable contribution to it. You know, where we're doing toys, coat drives, can drives, sneaker drives. I done probably did it all, man. Like when it comes to like donations and stuff. So yeah.
Where did that mindset come from though? Like not just being an event planner, but being an event player that, you know, it has decided to give back to his community at the same time.
Just how I grew up. I was a lucky one, man. Born and raised in Hartford, you know, got a good chance. I was pretty good at sports, so I was a pretty smart kid. So I went to all the good schools. I went to the private schools, the Catholic schools, the magnet schools. You know what I mean? Like, but I like remember like playing sports in the hood, and some of these kids going home to like situations I can't even relate to, right? I know where it's like I see them now, or I've seen them before, and it was like, wow, you're really struggling in life. And we should be in the same field together, right? We equals. So I'm a bad situation away from being you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely remember talking to people who was like, man, you lucky you went to the Northwest Catholic. You know, I went to end up going to Northwest Catholic for high school. You're lucky you end up going there. You're lucky you end up going this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, I'm blessed to have like a good foundation with, you know, my mom, my grandmother helped raise me. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of family. My family's pretty big, so a lot of family was on me. Like I said, and then my friends were all like self-motivators, you know, like I'm gonna do good because you doing good. I'm gonna make sure you do good because I'm doing good type of thing. You know what I mean? So like, you know, I've seen people, like I said, when I grew up, like really didn't make it, right? Really struggling in life, really lose their lives for multiple reasons, you know, and then I graduated, you know, I end up coming back and working in my community, right? I worked at the YMCA in Hartford for years. My grandma and my mom been part of the community. You know what I mean? Like, I've had clients tell me like, yo, you're the only positive male role model in my life, right? And I'm hearing this at 21, 23. I'm like, damn, I don't consider myself a man yet, right? I'm hearing this stuff when I'm just becoming a man. At 21, you know who you are, but you're like, I'm probably still living at home with my mom, you know what I'm saying? So like, imagine serving or imagine like helping a youngster, right? And they telling you stuff like this, right? Where, oh, I got an interview tomorrow, but I got nowhere to shower because I'm homeless and I got no dress clothes. You feel me? So like, I always made sure I made change. And then at one point where, you know, my events are successful, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm making a pretty penny off some of these events. All right, let's challenge some people to donate some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let's challenge people to like, you know what? Bring a toy this time, right? You bring a toy, it's free to get in or something like that, right? And challenge you to bring a can, right? Let's take some of my proceeds, right? and match the donations I get from the people, right? Or just take it out of my pocket and give it to myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I did it one time and I seen the impact. And that's really what it came down to. I remember I did a coat drive, right? I did a coat drive. And I had a guy, Big Dean, we was working in the Y together. And he was like, man, these kids don't got no coats. Somehow we got in a conversation. I was like, bro, I got 40 coats at the crib right now. Right? I was about to give them to like Goodwill or, the big charitable places, right?
Yes.
And a lot of those times, those big charities, I won't say no names, nothing like that.
Right.
But they get it and resell it, or they get them and they don't donate them. They just collect them for their own write-offs and benefits and stuff like that. So I'm all about direct impact, right? If I can really change one person's life or help one person, that means more to me, right? And I remember telling Big Dean this. I was like, I got 40 coats to the crib. He brought like 40 boys throughout the week. These coats were nice. These were some nice coats. Kids coming in with t-shirts, bro, outside like this. Feel me? And then I was like, okay, that's cool. So let me try something else now. They're toys. And then this is probably like early on. And I had a mother of 4 house burned down the couple days after I did the toy drive, right? And when I did the toy drive, what we did was round up a bunch of families in need, and we did like a breakfast for them, right? And we had all these toys lined up. If I get the footage, I'm gonna send it to you. Got all these toys lined up, right? And we probably had like 40 kids, right? And we lined them up from tallest to shortest. And we said, yo, we're gonna do snake order, right? First to last, last to first. You pick one toy at a time, and it's yours, right? So we did that, right? All the toys gone. Mother walks in, and this how the universe works, right? And if you're faithful, it's how God works, right? Mother 4 walks in like a little bit late. The event's already like it's going off, but everything's like kind of wrapping up. She's like, sorry I came late. I didn't have a ride. Mother of 4 boys, single mother, house burned down. I lost everything, right? It's days before Christmas. And I just got a call as she walked in. One of my guys was like, yo, I got clothes for kids and I got a box of toys, right? And as she walked in, she was like, yo, we don't have anything like this. And he was like, all right, just eat, no worries, we'll find stuff for you. Like, people got connections. Guy comes in, the clothes fit perfectly on these kids.
Wow.
Right? The bunch of toys perfectly for their age. It was like 2 like preteens and like children. So like 2 children. So the children got the toys, the preteens got like headphones and stuff, a little MP3 players and everything. So like I was like, damn, like this is powerful right here.
Yeah.
And after that I was like, yo, my mind's made. Like a couple times a year I gotta do charity.
Yeah.
I gotta do charity. And the best way to do charity is something I'm already doing, events, right? So people gonna pull up anyway to the events, might as well be like, hey, bring something, And then I came to find out that people struggle to donate because they don't know how to donate. Everyone's told they only donate through the big organizations, and that's cool. There's no problem with that. But if someone can't go buy those clothes, right, after they already been put in, how they gonna get something, right? People got to pay for because they still have to pay regardless, right? Versus hand-to-hand exchange. So I was like, you know what? I gotta do this every year, right? Because I'm changing someone's life. I had a toy drive one year. I'm sorry, I'm going a little rant. You bringing back memory lane.
No, you good. Run.
I had a toy drive one year where a friend was like, actually, it wasn't a friend. It was a random. I'm not gonna put too much detail. I don't want to first have to see it, whatever. But it was a person I just met, and they were in need. They had just got in a relationship. They had kids. The girl had kids, and they were like, "Yo, I just got a job. I got no money for Christmas." You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of boys, a bunch of girls, and I had a bunch of toys, man. Like from high school all the way to like kids. I was like, go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Go crazy, right? And to me, that means so much to me because I'm helping that person. You know what I'm saying? Who knows that toy that kid could grab could change that kid's life, right? Maybe that kid was lost in the world, and then we gave him some headphones, and now he a musician today. He becomes a musician. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say, a kid, same thing, lost in their own head, trying to figure out what's going on. We give them a coloring book or a drawing book, and now they're artists. Like, like certain things like trigger certain people, right? And that's why I do these charity drives and donations, because it's like, you never know how much it can affect someone, right? How it could build them up. You get a kid in need who ain't got no coat, right? You give him a coat. He loves his coat. He feeling himself. He ends up being successful. He might create a whole coat line to just give them away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to save in this world, bro. Every time you get blessings, you got to give them back. That's the only way you get more blessings, right? And then, as a person of color, we already got a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why not help one another? You know what I'm saying? Why not help the next one up? Why not help the one in need, right? Now, it's hard to do it every time because you got to take care of yourself, but, try, right? Reach out a helping hand, you know what I mean? Like, and I've seen all these things happen, like from working in the community as a mentor, as a specialist, as a counselor, where I'm like dealing with some of these youth, and it's like, damn, they really don't got nothing. Like, imagine not knowing where you're going to sleep tomorrow. Imagine not knowing when you're going to eat tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are real problems. Like, I've never had that problem. I'm a pretty big dude. I eat often. You know what I mean? Like, my parents are pretty cool where I always had a roof over my head. So, like, I have to give back because those things are still occurring in the world, And if you look at the numbers, like, people of color are hurting, right? So I try to keep that momentum going, as much as the more I make, the more I give back. That's how I say, right? And if I keep making, I'm gonna keep giving back. It ain't gonna stop me. I got like 100 toys in my basement right now, bro, trying to drop them off. You know what I'm saying? From the last toy drive we just did. So, make sure every kid on Christmas get a toy if it was up to me.
Yeah.
So,
damn, man, it's heavy for me to follow up with.
I'm bad now.
That's a good thing.
Talker.
No, that's a good thing though. But even in saying that though, right? So, and mentioning what you said before, the idea of financial freedom, and now hearing this about the charitable donations, there's a common statement that some people might say is money isn't everything. And so as a person who obviously is a businessman and has a 9-to-5 as an event planner, but at the same time, you give back to your community and you explain how there's some people in this world who are homeless, right? There are some people in this world who, the hell of being a millionaire, they just want to cope, right? These are like real life situations. So how do you feel about that statement? Money isn't everything.
My mom used to tell me that all the time, right? And I never understood it until, like, I would say this year, recently, right? I would say I didn't understand that 2 years ago. That's when it really hit me, and I kind of like matured into like thinking of it. Because my mom used to say to me, "Money isn't everything." And I was like, "Shit, money ain't everything if you ain't ever had it."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me?
Hey.
I see you give me $1 million today, I'll be a happy soul. You know what I mean? Like, I won't need nothing else.
Yeah.
But so it doesn't mean everything, because money is the root of all evil. It really is. People will change up on you for money. People will change who they are for money. Like, money has so much power, right? Everyone has a price. Even if you think you don't have a price, everyone has a price. And it's crazy, right? Because I could say, would you ever hit your mom? You would say no, right?
I'll say hell no, but yeah.
If I say I give you $20 million to slap your mom right now in the face, you gonna think about that. You might slap your mom, right? Right? It's an extreme example, but everyone has a price, right? Even lowering it down to $1 million. Shit, your mom might be like, man, you better slap me. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? So it's like when you put money in front of people, like, the strongest survive behind it, right? The strongest do things right. And the reason the picture got clearer to me, at one point when I was doing my events, I was throwing volume out, right? I'm like, the more I throw out, the more I could get. But it didn't feel right, right? I was like, I partnered up with a few people. I'm like, nah, this don't feel right, right? And I was like, I'm thinking too much of the money part versus my art, right? Versus my passion. And, that's when I learned, like, hey, listen, like, the money gonna come if you're passionate and you work hard for it, right? Feel me? But if you just throwing things out, say, I want to get a buck, it ain't gonna work out, right? And I tried it. I tried it a few times where, certain people hit me up like, hey, let's partner up. I'm like, all right, I'll partner up with you. We can do this. I'm like, nah, that ain't hit, right? But I was doing it because I'm thinking like, oh, this is the easy penny. Nah, right? And then when I made money over a few times, I'm like, nah, this don't feel good, right? I'm not satisfied. I want more, right? And I realized I left the passion part out of it, and I try to chase the dollar, right? And I was like, no, I got to reprogram myself, right? And I do it every few years. I was like, all right, am I doing what I want, or I'm doing what I need, or doing what I love, right? I have to ask myself those questions, right? Because if you're doing something that you're good at, you're something you're passionate about, right? And you start seeing success behind it, but then the success you see, you're getting greedy for it, right? Because you're like, oh, I could do this one time and I could get this much money. Let me multiply it by 10, right? And multiply it by 50, multiply it by 100, right? And yes, you possibly could do it, but now you're losing quality, right? You're losing your heart behind it, right? You're not even really caring about it because it's more of a numbers game to you. You feel me? You're punching in the clock, but it's like you're absent-minded, right? So I do think money is important, but it's not everything. I think that, and I'm a working man too. On top of doing my events, I got 2 different jobs, right? I've always carried 3 jobs my whole life, right? Because I like not being broke. I like money, right? But then sometimes you be like, man, I'm tired. I got no peace of mind, right? And then some days you're like, wow, I just missed my cousin's birthday party, right? I can't take my girl out on this day because I'm working that day, right? Like, and those things don't hit you at the moment, but when they start adding up, you're like, wow, I'm not around, right? And then you got to think about it, like, do I lose out on those moments and memories now and make money, or do I catch it later on and try to make up for it, right? But then that's where you're at the dilemma where it's like, I gotta have someone I need to celebrate tomorrow, right? But then tomorrow they're not here, right? And then yesterday you couldn't go see them because you had work, right? It's really a puzzle. So it's I would say it's important, but it's not everything. I think
how do you deal with that question though? The idea of like, man, do I go to work, or do I, try and get money and stack up, or do I live in the moment and link with my friends, or, just go to a certain event? I mean, I guess, it's funny. It's different for you being an event planner. You have the luxury of, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Cause,
yeah, but you know what though? It's like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting more, my brand is building and my ideas are expanding. So it's less quantity because I want perfection and I want division. And sometimes division takes long to build, but like, it's definitely fun, but then there's only so many times you're going to hear that song very loud in your ear every week. You know what I'm saying? Every twice a week, 4 times a week, whatever. So it's like, it's work. It's fun work, but it's work, right? Because I'm not there just to collect a check and party and turn up and, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I'm not even turning up most of the time on my events. I'm in work mode. I'm making sure people food good. I'm making sure the service is straight. I'm making sure they have reservations, that it's lined up. You know what I'm saying? I'm serving the purpose of as a manager would, in a sense, right? Like, if you ever go to my party, you will see like moments throughout each hour where I'm just walking back and forth real fast. I'm going to this side of the building. I'm going to this side of the building. Yo, what up, Dean? What up? How you doing? You know what I mean? But I'm making sure things are flowing, right? And I say that because, like, you know, let me run it down. So, like, at an event, you'll have someone at the door, right? You'll have security. You have your DJs, right? Depending on the space, if you rent it out or if you're doing the venue, might be some ownership there, right? You got your bartenders, right? You got your servers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got people who are working there, you got staff that's working there, right? All the above. I mean, then you got people who are customers, people who are coming in, they're consumers, right? So at any given moment, anyone who's coming into the event are like, hey, what's up, Dean? You want to vibe, you want to have a conversation, right? So I'm presenting that part. Then I got to make sure my staff is cool, right? The bartenders, y'all good? Y'all need anything, right? My DJs, you good? You need anything? The person at the door, hey, you good? You need anything, right? Because really, I'm a floater at this point, right? And those people are stationary; they can't move. You know what I'm saying? Like you might get a DJ up there who's DJing for 4 hours straight.
Yeah,
he can't leave that booth, or she can't leave that booth. Yeah, right. Maybe they have to use a bathroom when they thirsty, bro. Yeah, think about that. If you like, man, the party relying on me, I got the vibes. The music to stop, everybody gonna be like, yeah. What was that, right? Yeah. You feel me? Person at the door, they got to keep asking somebody for ID. They got to bat them down. They got to make sure they, you know what I'm saying? All the above, right? The bartenders, right? People come in there, they want to drink. Feel me? They working. Sometimes they can't get a chance to be like, yo, can you get this for me over there in the back? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm working as much as I'm networking and you know, and making sure we were cool. But like, it's a job, bro. Especially on a busy day. Oh man. I would have to like, it's times where some of my partners have to be like, yo, chill. Right. But I'm so like locked in that it's really work, bro. Right. And I enjoy that part because I like seeing, my best part of the events is when everything's going smooth and it's dope. I can stand back and just look at everybody laughing and smiling and right. Like, I'm like, you made magic right here happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, and it's like you said, to your point of balancing work and life, it might be someone at that event who's been working 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week. They ain't get a day off in a month. And they came there just to get a drink with you or came there just to hear some good music and shake their tail feather or whatever, right? Yeah. Feel me? And they needed that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I brought that to you, right? Me and mine brought that to you, right? Because you hear me say because we're having a one-on-one conversation, but I'll be honest, bro, I got a good team around me, a solid team around me where whatever space I need to be helping, I can get it, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm forgetting about it, they be like, yo, I know you ain't thinking about that. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So like, shout out to all those. The list is a million people long. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go through everybody, but just know y'all appreciate it. Y'all help me. If y'all there for the journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it makes it easier on my part, you know, to help create the ideas or even help formulate someone else's ideas, right? I've definitely been invited on projects where someone else is like, yo, we should do this here. And I'm like, oh, word, that's a great idea. Let's make it happen, you know? So like, those events, it's fun, but it's like 70-30 work, right?
Would you say that someone who, I guess, is an introvert would be able to do something like this? Because obviously it sounds like, you know, you're talking to multiple people and networking with people who are there as well as people who are working at these events. But if someone, you know, I guess play this, how important is it to basically talk to people?
Yes, I think you be an introvert, and yes, you have to talk to people, right? If you're a DJ, you don't gotta talk to nobody. You can just stay in your zone. Like, some DJs get on the mic and do their magic, but you can just stay in your little booth and go crazy. Yeah. Right? You don't really gotta talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? But then you also have to talk to people from the role I'm playing because you putting your name on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of my stuff says, if it's not a group thing, right? Some of my stuff say Spence Name Dean presents. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, like, it's a chance to network, bro. Right? It's a real good chance to network. So why not talk to people? Right? And I'll tell you though, on a real busy day, I take like a break for myself. I get my introvert moments where it's like, I just got to step away from everybody. and I need like 20 minutes to half hours to like, you know what I'm saying? So it could be done. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of, it's like work. Some days you wake up to work and you're like, I ain't trying to go to work, right? So like, I call it my like showtime moment, right? So I almost created a character. Just like you go to work, you're like, I ain't trying to be at work. I'm tired. I ain't trying to talk to nobody. Like sometimes I'll be like, man, I got this event. Like I'm tired. I ain't even trying to do this, but you got to do it, right? Because you've been telling people about it, you've been building it up. So I'm like, all right, like showtime. Like I gotta go and gotta, you know what I'm saying? Just make it happen. And but I mean, you definitely gotta talk to people because you never know what conversation could lead to, right? One conversation can lead to an opportunity. And like how I spoke about my events, that's how my stuff got going. You know what I'm saying? A conversation of someone like, yeah, would you be interested in doing this? A conversation where like, hey, I had this idea, like I think you'd be cool for it. Like for instance, we threw a mansion party, a manor party, right? It was right before COVID happened. It's a mansion, but it's an old looking building house. So I'm gonna call it a manor. I don't really know the definition of the two, but manor party. And you know, someone who was attending my events all the time was like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, we usually do this party every year. We want to see if you want to do it. Like, this is the place we're thinking about. Would you mind pulling up? And I was like, all right, like, cool. Like, that was off a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't talk to him that day or I never spoke to him, who knows what could have happened, right? That opportunity would have been someone else's opportunity, right? And it's funny how we talk about financial literacy. I have a phrase where every conversation could be a potential dollar. All right. You never know who knows who leads you to what. Right. I've gotten jobs off. I know someone already in there. Not even knowing they were in there, just because I built a relationship with them from afar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've gotten opportunities and gigs and access to certain spaces of like, hey, what's up, man? You all right? How you doing? Right? Like I'm the dude who walks around the events and like if no one's talking, if you're not talking or you're like isolated and like not having a good time, what up? You good? What's up? What's going on? You want a drink? You want some water? Like, I mean, I gotta make sure you ain't about to, tear the place up or not. I don't know I know what's on your mind, but you know what I'm saying? But you gonna hear me, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that person is like, and I've had it where this person's like, yo, like, who's the person running this, man? Like, they're doing a good job. Like, I've heard big things about this. Like, I want to work with them. And I was like, oh, it's me. Hey, I'm the person. You know what I mean? Like, me and my team, like, what's up? What you talking about? So you definitely got to talk to someone. I think as long as the person who's introvert can turn it off and on, I think it works. I mean, think about it. If you break it down, it's an hour count, right? Your event not going to last more than 5 hours. So you got 1 week where you don't talk to nobody. You got 5 hours, you got to talk to people. Turn it off and on, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, right?
So was there ever a time or was there a moment where you were hosting at least one event where things went left, where things may not have gone as planned? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Left. Let me think.
Left, like, and it could be anything, whether it been like when you first started off, like, I won't say if you booked the wrong DJ or some shit like that, but just the idea of like, damn, maybe I should have done this. And ever since that day, you never, make sure to do that mistake again.
Honestly, you know what? I feel like every event you're gonna say maybes. I should have done this, I should have done that. It's like playing a sport. You get 40, but you like, damn, man, if I hit that extra jumper, I mean my free throws, I'd have 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk sports, right? If I hit this, if I did that, you know what I mean? So I would say like my first event, the Thanksgiving one, I really did like on my own. I was like, like you can't do this by yourself. You thought like I was not greedy, but I was like, you know what? I could profit off this, right? And I made a really good penny off that. I will not lie. But I had one security guard, 2 DJs, and 2 bartenders. Right? One point, I had my security guard doing the money. Right? That sounds crazy, right? I mean, like, right? Like, so luckily I had like, and I guess this is my trust in my friends, right? Like we ain't the smallest guys. Like we're some pretty solid guys. So I'm like, we don't need much security because,
right.
all of our dudes are pretty big, right? But and also like I would definitely say I'm blessed to say I've been doing this for 5-6 years, maybe 2 fights, maybe 3 fights. And I think two or 3 of those fights came from partnerships I shouldn't have partnered with. Right. But since I had control over, I don't say not control, but since I've chose the people I work with and done things the right way, but 6 years, 3, that's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's real good. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got alcohol involved.
Yeah.
But I say my first time, just having a lot of people there, and it was like, all right, so the first time I had one security guard, right? And he was doing the money. And he had to leave at like 1:30. I'm like, bro, what you mean you gotta leave at 1:30? I got like 90 minutes, 2 hours left. Like, what? This is crazy. Then throughout that night, I ran out of change, right? So we were doing like $5 entry, $10 entry, or something like $10, $15. It was like some odd number where I had to get change every time. I went to the bank. Banks was closed. I went to the ATMs. I went to the gas stations.
Yeah.
At one point, I walked in the gas station like, yo, I got $300. I need 5s. You have that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, middle of the event, bro. I'm leaving
at a gas station at 2 a.m.
Yo, crazy, right? Like, in Hartford at that, like, you didn't know what kind of gas station you walking into. Like, Hartford, you got one neighborhood that's dope. Then you got one neighborhood that's like,
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, excuse me. Just like that event kind of told me like to prepare, right? Prepare. This is how you handle stuff. I'm not really a panic type of person. Feel me? You may see me get worked up real at the moment, but it's me in my head just kind of like, feel me, like figuring everything out. So like if something goes wrong, I'd be like, I'm like, all right, I got it. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't really panic or nothing like that. I'm pretty calm. So like, but that one event, to answer your question, that one event told me, everything you think of the worst. Right? So when the worst happens, you prepare for it, right? If we're overbooked, how do we fix it, right? If we ran out of change, how do we fix it, right? If we do this, how do we do that? You know what I'm saying? So like, I plot out every situation, you know what I'm saying? To the point where like, if we're charging at the door, no one got cash. Okay, how are we getting money? We got Cash App, we got Venmo, we got a credit card system, right? The swipe joint. Feel me? If we need 3 security guards, but 2 of them go down, all right, then who's gonna be the backup guard, right? Right? If this happens, that, right? So like I map out everything in my head, and then whoever I'm meeting with, whoever we're doing an event with, like when we're talking about it, we all map it out and be like, all right, like I'm pretty good at asking the questions I need to be asked, right? So besides that first one was just more of a learning curve, and then after that it was like, but something's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to kind of like adjust to it. You feel me? Like, and then make sure that whatever happens, the people it happens to, that they're satisfied for how you did it, right? So like, for example, if like, let's say someone comes in to order some food for brunch or something, right? Or a happy hour. The food come out, it's cold, it's nasty, you know what I'm saying? Or it's late. That customer pissed off. How can we accommodate you to make sure you're good? Right? So that's pretty much what it is. Right? Because you want the consumer to have good reviews. Because they can say, hey, listen, because like I'd rather have, you know what, the wings came out and it was cold, but I was taken care of, blah, blah, blah. I had a good time. I'll come back because the customer service is great. Yeah. Right? If customer service is trash, bro, I don't care if you're throwing a party. People's like, nah, I ain't coming back.
Clip, yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to put my money somewhere else where it's appreciated, right? So, I would say that one time I want to say it was a bad event because it was very successful. I just wasn't prepared. I tried to do it like it was a house party, and it was like, oh, this ain't no house party no more, bro.
Yeah.
It's a This the real deal.
But you know what? I was just getting ready to mention that too. Like just kind of hearing your overall story. It's crazy how far you've come, right? In terms of starting out with the house parties and now, being like an official and legitimate event planner and everything like that. So how much, I guess, humility do you think it takes to, I guess, get started off doing it by yourself and doing it solo to now knowing that like, a team is involved / everyone needs to be playing the role. Like it's bigger than just myself to be, hosting and throwing an event.
I've always been a humble person. I'm very confident. I'm very confident. If I shoot, I think I'm gonna make it every time. Don't get me wrong. But it's because when you break it down, you're essentially this is what an event is really, right? You're creating something and saying, hey, come support, come spend money here, come, you know what I'm saying? Right? Like just because you did it don't mean they gotta come to you.
Right.
Feel me? So it's even then, even the first one where I was like, I anchored the first one because it was just the opportunity there, right? So even then, I can't even take full credit because I had help. You know what I'm saying? I would never take full credit for any of my events. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you hear the I word, I apologize for that. If it's taken out of context, I'm just speaking because you asked me questions directly. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. But it's a team effort. You need people a part of your team to do that, right? And you got to be humble because just like work, man. Like, you got a supervisor, you got a big boss, whatever. Like there's someone above you, right? If there's someone above you or everyone's below you, y'all need each other, right? Because if there's someone above you, right, he or she's telling you do this, this, and that, and if they're a jerk, you're like, man, all right, right? I'll lose my job for that, right? Or you know what? I'll do the bare minimum so you can't fire me, and there's more pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're the one up top and people are below you, right? In the sense of like they work for you, you don't get nothing if they ain't producing, right? Regardless of you the captain or you just a player on the field, like you got to be humble. I think you got to be humble with everything in life, right? Because this event space or anything you do entrepreneur wise, you need support from people, right? And if people ain't supporting you, bro, you ain't making no money. People ain't supporting you, your dream ain't, you know what I'm saying, your goals ain't what you achieve, right? Unless you just really good at engineering or computers or something where you don't need to talk to nobody and you can collect your check and just invest in yourself. But even then, like, if you have people who help you invest or tell you the right ways and tools, you still become more successful. You know what I'm saying? So like it's you got to be humble, hungry, and confident in yourself, right? So when you speak, people listen, right? But then at the same time, I want those same type of people in that room with me, right? You know what I mean? Like I have events throughout the year where I ask people to come on board. I probably can do this event and be all right and make more money. No, but I'd rather do it with y'all, right? Because I want a different type of energy in this, right? And I feel like the more energy I have of that is going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how my Thanksgiving Eve started. I started off, my boys did a party the year before, just a pop-up party. Not even like organized nothing. What we doing? We're going to this place and drinking. I bet. Next year, I'm like, what we doing? Ain't doing nothing? All right, well, I'm going to throw a party here because I got a good chance to do it, right? And then, much as it was dope, the next year I was like, you know what, Thanksgiving Eve is a thankful day where you're supposed to bring people together. Yeah. So ever since then, at my first one, every Thanksgiving, I make sure I got people on the lineup, you know what I'm saying, that's going to put that work in and show love, like, and really contribute and make it a bigger event than just a party, right? I don't like throwing parties, I like throwing experiences. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Thanksgiving is a love day of love. Right. So you got to be super humble, man, because people could turn your support off like that. Right. I mean, kind of like it's almost like being an artist. You have a platinum record today and the next 2 years you disappeared. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to this person? Where they at now? Like, so you got to be super humble. And people like that energy too, man. Yeah. Nobody wants to be around someone who's like cocky and and you're all about self. Like that's weird. And people like don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, it's as part of my marketing, you won't really see my picture on the flyer either. If you ever notice, I don't really put my pictures on flyers like that. As much as I'm the one running it or I'm part of the team running it, it's not about me, man. It's about us. Let's come here and make magic. You know what I mean? So
no. I'm with you on that. It's bigger than one person as an individual. But even going into that, man, I mean, you talked again too about your charitable donations and just overall giving back to the community and understanding early on too that there's people in different situations as you. So it's always good to be thankful for what's been given your way. But with that being said, man, the final question that I have for you, it's a question that I ask everyone that comes on to Define Your Legacy. And that question is, how do you want to be remembered?
That's a good question right there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That question never fails, man. Never fails. Like,
because how many times do you ask that, yo?
Well, I ask it, like I said, for every episode, but like usually like up until this point, like whenever I ask a question, you're able to answer it just like that. Or it's like, of course, I know it. But when you hit them with that, it's like, hang on.
Like, how do you all right, I'm gonna try to answer that. I want to be loved, right? I want to be remembered as a very loving person. I want to be loved as someone that has good energy, right? I want to be remembered as someone who made an impact and a contribution to this world, right? Regardless if it's micro or macro, it don't matter what size, right? Someone who, damn, man,
I know.
I gotta write a poem.
That's no, that's because it really makes you think, right? It's like everything else in life. Again, you go through kind of, you do stuff what you're good at, you get paid and all that. But like when you really sit and just think, like, damn, because you talked about it before, like you might not be in the mouth. That's just the sad reality. Like if that ends up happening, if you could look back on your life and just think, like, all right, how will I legit be remembered? Like, what would people think of when they hear my name? Like, so it's
all right. So I'm gonna simplify it. This is my simple answer.
Okay, you good.
All right. I want to be remembered as someone like going on. I want to be remembered as someone who's dope and you have a story to tell about me. And I'm cool with that. Right? If I die tomorrow and they be like, damn, I never got a chance to chill with Dean or meet Dean, like, how was he? Your home was dope. Right? The answer was like, your home was dope. I remember the time. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Outside of that, whatever. Feel me? As long as it's respectful and there's love behind it. But I think that's the simplest way I can answer it. Someone who is dope, right? And I say dope in my own way. Everyone's dope in their own way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got some people who are stylists, some people who are, real clean cut, someone who's really good at this or that. I just want to be, I feel like I'm a pretty cool individual. Like, I feel like, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not I won't say I'm a cool kid, but I'm a cool kid, It's like, no, but someone who's just dope, man. Feel me? Someone who's dope and you have a story to tell about me, right? Because I feel like everyone I've had a connection with, regardless of what your status is in this world, right? I feel like they were dope, right? And if I had a moment with you, you were dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm the kid who was an all-state football player, but played in the school band. You know what I'm saying? I played on the jock athlete, but I did the improv clubs and the arts programs, and I could draw, and you know what I mean? Like, I did everything. Like, I'll do a chess club with you. Like, I did chess club, like, you know what I'm saying? So I always was about like just spreading love and just making a moment. You know what I mean? Like, be a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And not be a vibe like go out my way of, oh, he trying to do too much. He trying to be this. Nah, like, personally, I care what less what you think about me or anybody else, right? I'm going to be Dean Spence till the day I die. I'm going to spread good energy. I'm going to laugh. And there's going to be a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I care about is good vibes. Like, great vibes only. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, if someone could say, yo, he was dope and they have a story to tell about me, I'm cool with that. That's all I want. I don't need nothing else. Right? Because if you got a story to tell, like if someone be like, yo, how was this person right here? He's like, yo, he was cool as hell. Yo, this one time, if they got a story with you, bro, like that's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's better than anything else.
That hits. That hits.
You feel me? Because that story probably gonna lead to some laughter, right? That story probably gonna get you a better visual understanding of who this person is, right? And you're gonna be like, all right, like I kind of like I'm glad that people have love for this person right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I try to live with no regrets. It's funny because I have like a thought where I feel like one day, right, I'm gonna be real old, right? Be like old dudes, like to the point where I can't even move. I'm just in my chair talking trash to everybody because old people talk smack, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe after a certain age, you're just allowed to say whatever you want to say, right? So I'm gonna be an old person, can't really move. I'm just stuck in a chair, and a little kid can come up to me and be like, "Hey, what up, old head? What up, OG?" Right? Like, how was your life? You feel me? And at that moment, I gotta think about everything I did in my life, and I'm either gonna be really happy or I'm gonna be really like, "Damn, I ain't do nothing with my life." You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's how I kind of like take each moment, each day as like, you know what I mean? Like, just make sure when you old, you live your life. You know what I mean?
Facts. Well,
so because
that kind of, you know, is a little bit of the purpose of the show too, to kind of, like I said, give guests and you all to like just think like, all right, what exactly, you know, years from now, 30, 40 years from now, what will I be able to say about myself? You know,
correct.
The question of how do you want to be remembered, that involves everyone else, right? What do you want people to think of you? But just to, when you talk about your journey, it's like, damn, all right, how do I feel about me? You know, like, did I provide value? Was I a good person? Did I accomplish everything that I want to accomplish? So,
real talk, man.
It's real stuff. So, I need a favor from you, if you don't mind, man. Could you drop your social medias, like where people can find you? You know, where the next brunch spot is, where you know, and where the events are, everything like that. Run wild with all the promo and everything like that, man.
Yes. So I do Facebook and Instagram. That's my head, my 1 and 2. Facebook, Dean Spence. Simple as that. You can find me right there. My Instagram is Spence named Dean, but it's A_Spence_named_Dean. So you can find me there. You know, I'm doing brunch every Sunday at Sobala right now. We just had a Thanksgiving Eve event. Next year, you know, 2022 and forth, I got some really, 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 really cool projects coming your way. I've been partnering up with a lot of people. I've been doing my networking. I got a lot of spatial event spaces and just real dope ideas just to bring really dope people together. And everyone in this world is dope. If you're a good person, you're dope. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, something really for the culture. You know what I mean? Like, I told myself I want to step it up a notch, right? I want to really like bring it to another level. You know, I'm excited for that right now too, because I'm doing all the blueprint for it, and I'm like, oh, like hey, we could have some fun. You know what I mean? Like some real good fun, grown and sexy fun, and you know, it's for me, it's deeper than turning up. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than just a party. It's an experience. So like, I'm looking to deliver more experiences coming forth. So, like I said, those 2 pages, Spence named Dean on IG, Dean Spence on Facebook. You can find me there. If you add me, if you like a page, follow back because I'm bougie. If you don't follow back, I ain't following you back. If you follow me back, I'll follow you back. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There's networking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And then, you know, whoever sees this, man, like, if you see me in person, what up? Show love.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And, you know, we go from there.
Yeah. You got any final words for the lovely audience of Defiant Legacy, man?
Yes. Never stop being yourself. Always be a good person and hustle. Right? Love is love. More life.
Damn, straight up. Well, I appreciate that, man. I know, you know, everyone that listens to Defiant Legacy will appreciate that as well, man. So again, y'all, you know, another great episode. But yeah, lastly, just a reminder, follow Defiant Legacy wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, you know what I'm saying, you know, Instagram, Twitter, social media, everywhere. All right. And again, got the online store link in the description of this episode. We appreciate you, Dean, man. I speak for everyone that, is going to listen to this episode, man. It's dope to hear. Obviously, it's a financial literacy podcast, but even hearing, from the event planner space to the charitable donation space, like how important it is, man. And just reminding people life can sometimes be bigger than just money. There's people who, maybe struggling in the area that you may not even thought of. So just as a reminder, as you said, man, just continue to be a good person. So just like that, y'all, we gone. Peace.